Well, certainly disappointing night for us for sure. I thought coming with our preparation, I expected us to play a better game tonight. A lot of that has to do with Ohio State. I thought they were really good. I thought they did a great job. With their poise down the stretch. I thought, it was kind of a funky game. Neither team could really get anything going offensively for much of the night. And you got to 8 minutes. Bryant got that 3-point play to cut it to 2, and that's where you got to win or lose the game. And I thought Ohio State from that point on, just really outplayed us on both ends. They had great poise. They found their guys. I thought Williams was sensational. We had some key breakdowns in the defense late in the game where we lost Williams, which you just can't do. He was the one. They go 5 for 18 from 3. He made all 5 of them. So you just can't have those breakdowns if you want to beat a good team. And so, obviously the last 2 games offensively hasn't been there for us. We got to find a way to get Trey going. I think he's pressing a little bit, as everybody can see. He's got to relax a little bit. We got to take some pressure off of him. And, certainly not making excuses, but not having a guy like Alex when to be able to just drop it into the post and get some offense. When things aren't going well, has really put a lot of pressure on our 2 guards. And teams are really going after those guys and making them take tough shots. And we got to find a way to get contributions from other guys. We got to get, Lumpkin doesn't have any points. Lindsey, no points. Aaron obviously had a couple, but he's 3 for 11. We have to. Those guys, Taphorn, I thought made a couple shots, but those are the guys that have to relieve some pressure off the 2 guards because there's a lot on their shoulders right now to try to do it offensively. And then when we got open looks, I thought we missed them. And so sometimes that's how it goes. We've hit a little bump in the road, 2 in a row. Can't get discouraged. And the thing about this league is you got to try to avoid the extended losing streaks, where you get yourself really out of touch with the rest of the league. So we have a big challenge ahead of us. We got to go on the road. We got to go to Minnesota and play a team that is going to be really hungry for their first league win. So, it's got to be our focus now moving forward.
Last year you started conference play, you beat Rutgers, and then you lost to Wisconsin and Michigan State. It's almost a similar situation this year. And then last year you went on that 10-game losing streak. What did you learn from that, and that you can sort of take forward to this year and make sure that doesn't
Well,
something like that doesn't happen?
You got to stop the bleeding. You can't have those extended losing streaks. I mean, we had. I don't want to draw upon too much because it's a new year, a new group, but we had a lot of close losses. We had a chance to stop the losing streak about 5 or 6 times. And for whatever reason, we weren't able to get it done. We had a number of close losses during that stretch. So, like I said, you got to, the one thing you can learn from experience is you got to hate losing, and you got to put whatever you can into that next game to find a way to win. And that's what we intend to do. It's disappointing. Everyone's disappointed. We came in very confident about winning this game tonight. We didn't get it done. And we've played 3 games. So, you got 15 games left, and we got to stop the bleeding, though. We got to go to Minnesota, and it's got to be a blue-collar, desperate team on Saturday because that's what they're going to be. I mean, they're 0-2 or 0-3, whatever they are, and, they're going to be at home. For them, they're going to feel like it's a similar situation. They need to win. So, I think it's going to be a really hard-fought, competitive game Saturday that we're going to need to be ready for on Saturday afternoon. Yeah, I got, obviously the one thing you want to do is not overreact too much. You want to look at the film and you want to see, are you getting good shots? And, really, from my vantage point, I thought we did get some clean ones. I think Trey right now is just, I thought he had a number of open looks, to be quite frank, from 3. And just wasn't able to get him down. And we're not going to lose confidence in him, but he just has to relax. He needs to have one of those games where, all really good scorers go through times when you aren't shooting as well, and you got to just relax and then focus on other things. I think, that was a big part of my game when I played was, someone who was supposed to make shots. And I always found myself in times when I would go into a little bit of a shooting slump. The best thing to do was to forget about my shot and try to focus on other areas. Can I get some rebounds? Can I take a charge? Can I get somebody else a shot? And then sometimes if you get your focus off of that, then all of a sudden the shot comes to you in rhythm and you start knocking them down. So it's easier said than done. He knows we need him to score. We've had a couple games now where, I think we missed our first 10 or 11 and we're off of 2. So we were like 2 for 31 stretch at one point until we made those last 2 in the first half. That's going to be tough to win in our league, especially when we're a team that needs to make shots. And, I think we have to continue to work on our execution. But really, I want to watch the film and be able to answer that better because, from my vantage point, I really thought we got some clean looks and we didn't knock them down. And then, they were really trying to take the three-point line away. So you got to drive the ball. And when you do drive the ball, you got to score. And I thought their length at the basket, whether they blocked the shot, but they altered a lot of shots. And then early, we were 8 for 15 from the free throw line. So you lose 7 points at the line as well. So I think it's collectively, we can talk a lot about the three-point shooting, and it's a big part of what we do. But, I think offense on a whole is we just have to convert better. We got to finish. I thought there were a number of opportunities where guys got the ball around the basket where we didn't finish as well, guards and big guys. And we got to find a way to convert. Points are so precious in this league.
Over here. Do you have an update on Alex Ola when he might return, or is that still indefinite?
It's still not a timetable. He's out. I highly doubt he'll be ready to go on Saturday. So hopefully next week we'll have more information. But he's getting better though. He's progressing. It's just we want to make sure that he's in a place where we can't do further damage getting him out there if he's not ready to go. So, I would say he's probably doubtful for Saturday, and, we'll reevaluate at the end of the week.
When you just mentioned that, teams like Ohio State and Maryland did the same thing, tried to run you guys off the three-point line, that the emphasis has to be on driving the ball. From your point of view, is driving the ball a part of a lot of these players' skill sets? And if so, how can you take advantage of that? And then if not, what schematically are you guys doing to try to, break down that perimeter defense?
Yeah, it hurts when and Joey and Derek are doing a great job, but they're not right now at their Joey's an activity guy and Derek is more of an energy guy as well. Offensive boards, putbacks. We can't. It's hard to loosen the defense when you can't drop the ball into the post. So that's an element of our offense that's been taken away. Alex commands double teams with everybody we play. So now all of a sudden you got guys in rotation. So other than driving the ball, the other way to get the ball in the paint is by throwing in the post. And really, we have a couple guys that can drive, as Bryant and Trey, our 2 main drivers. And, the other guys have to get better at that. They got to use their shot. But again, hasn't been a strength of what they do. So that's why I said earlier, there's a lot of pressure right now on Bryant and Trey because teams are really forcing them to make plays, and then that's why those other guys got to find. We got to try to loosen it up. We got to find some points from other guys. Again, we are running our stuff. I'd have to look at it. I thought they altered some shots at the basket, but looking at it, I didn't think we had an enormous amount of just really awful possessions where we didn't get good shots. We aren't knocking them down, and those 2 guys are under the gun, and they're not only playing against one player, they're playing against 2 a lot of times, and they're making people want to make them pass the ball, and if you don't make them pay, they're going to do it even more, and that's what we have to continue. If Alex is going to be out, which he will be, then we have to continue to work on finding ways to find easier baskets. So. And we'll do that. We'll continue to do that and learn from tonight again. And certainly these 2 teams were 2 of the better defensive teams. So give them credit. I don't want to diminish what Ohio State did. Sometimes you come in and you're disappointed with how you play, but a lot of it has to do with what the other team did. And I thought they played a very good defensive game.
Coach, you talked about the pressure on the 2 guards. They're also playing a ton of minutes. I think Bryant basically played the whole game tonight.
Yeah.
Did you see him maybe get worn down towards the end of the game? Do you think that was?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. I think there's no question. It's a long game. There's a lot on his shoulders. So, but yeah, he's probably pretty tired right now. Yeah. No, he wasn't able to talk to the team. Mike and I are really close. I had an opportunity to coach Mike for 2 years in college, and We won a national championship together, and he's a great friend of mine. So we stay in great contact with him being with the Bulls, and he just had an off night, wanted to come out and support us. So, he wasn't able to speak to the team or anything, but it was great to have him here. And, obviously somebody that our guys can really look up to, heck of a player and a great guy.
Chris, you talked about Trey pressing. Do you think Bryant was pressing at the end of the game?
I think at the end he was, because he knew Trey was struggling. So all of a sudden your running mate, you can see in his face that he's struggling, and I think he put a lot on his shoulders to try to do a lot. And at the end of the day, he might have had a couple sloppy turnovers and might have had a couple finishes he could get, but I thought he did his part. I mean, Bryant did his part.
Talk about them putting so much pressure on themselves. Is part of that not having confidence in their teammates to pass the ball off, or?
No, I don't think it's not having confidence. I think they just know they're two of our key guys, and I think they know that we need them to play well, and I think that's part of it. I think, in Trey's case, I want to show him there. I thought there were some times where he could have got guys some shots, when he got in there, and he knows we want him to score, and we want him to be in attack mode, and I don't want to rob him of that. But I think there's some opportunities where he could have got in there. I think this is the second game in a row where he didn't have an assist. Mm-hmm. And really, when he was playing well, you guys know, he was not only was he scoring, but he was getting assists, and he was finding guys. And we got to get him back to that. And right now, it's just he's a scorer who's struggling to score. So he's putting a lot of pressure on himself, and it's my job to ease that from him.
Does he ignore the other part of this game?
I don't think he ignores it. I think you get fixated on what's not going down with your shot. It's easy to say to forget about it, but everybody's human, and you're out there, and if I thought he got some really good looks, and all of a sudden if you're not making them, like you start thinking about that, and it's our job, it's my job. I'm going to help him better, and we're going to work harder with him as a teammate, as a staff, and to get him back to playing where he was. He's had 2 or 3 games where he hasn't played his best. And that doesn't diminish the 15 that he played great, or 13 that he played great. So we just got to get him back on. It's a long year. You go through these little droughts. You go through these little slumps. We got to keep his confidence up, and it's on all of us to help him play better next time out.
You've mentioned that Jordan is dealing with an illness. I'm just wondering if that's still setting him back, and once he is healthy, what you hope his role will be in.
Yeah, he started to give us some good minutes, right before Christmas, and it was unfortunate. He developed over the break. He had an infection in his leg that really set him back for about a week. And with a freshman, that can be harmful, especially when you're trying to establish yourself. So he just got to keep working. He's getting healthy now, and he just got to be ready when called upon. And he'll have his opportunities, and when he does, I have confidence that he can get the job done. Thanks, Coach. All right, guys, thanks.